Now today we see new topic inverse trigonometric functions. So for that we must know the definition of functions. We know that a relation from a set A to set B is called a function. If each and every element of A is related with one and only one element of B. For the function f from A to B, the set A is called domain and B is called codomain of f. The element B belongs to B, which corresponds to A belongs to A, is called f image of A, or the value of the function at x equals to A, and is denoted by f of A. The set such that f of A such that A belongs to A is called the range of f. Now we already discussed, if we consider two sets A and B, then their mapping represented by some relation. That relation we denote by f. So we represent the function for the domain A and for the codomain B by f. So we have to see the definition of one function, onto function, and one and onto function. Now see the first type, one function. A function f from A to B is called one function if there is no element in B which has more than one pre-image in A. That means different elements of A have different images in B. So we see in detail with example. Now second definition, onto function. A function f from A to B is called onto function if each and every element of B has some pre-image in B. So for inverse function, these two type of function must be there. If f from A to B is one and onto function, then corresponding to every element of B, we can find a unique element of A. This defines a function from B to A, which is called inverse function of f, and is denoted by f inverse from B to A. So we call this one function and onto function as injective function and surjective function. So the inverse function is a bijective function. So we write one function as injective function. So the definition we write in this way also. Different element of A have different images in B. So we see this by considering this example. Here domain is A, codomain is B, and relation between them we denoted by f. So the function is f of A equals to B, or we can denote as f from A to B. Now if you observe, each element of A have different images in B. So if we consider in this form, then this one has two images. So this is not one function. So for one function, for different elements in A have different images in B. There may be some elements in B which is not image of A. Then it is also an example of one function. Now see the second definition, onto function, that is surjective function. If each element of A has its pre-image in A, then the function is onto. Now we consider the same example. Here elements in A and elements in B. Now 1, 2, 3 has images A, B, C, and these elements of B has three images in set A. That is, the pre-image of A is 1, pre-image of B is 2, pre-image of C is 3. So don't confuse image and pre-image. We use the word for image for the set A. So the image of 1 is A, image of 2 is B, image of 3 is C. Pre-image, so we consider pre-image for the elements of set B. So in definition, if each element of B has its pre-image in A, then the function is onto. That means each element of B must have pre-image in set A. So if we consider this example, this is an example of onto also. If we consider here D, then D has not pre-image in A. So this is not an example of onto functions. Now we have to see inverse trigonometric function. So for inverse trigonometric function, the function must be 1, 1 and onto. So if given function is f from A to B, then its inverse denoted by f inverse denoted by B to A. So for solving the inverse trigonometric functions, we must know the principal branch values. So in this table, we are given a range, that is the principal branch values. The following table gives the domains and ranges of the 6 inverse trigonometric functions in their respective principal value branches. So the function, first function y equals to sin inverse x, its domain must be closed interval -1, 1 and range must be closed interval -pi by 2 to +pi by 2. So here when we are finding the value of unknown angle theta, it must be belonging to closed interval -pi by 2 to +pi by 2. That is for sin inverse x. Now for cos inverse x, domain must be closed interval -1, 1 and the angle which we find, that must belong to closed interval 0 pi. Such type of conditions we seen in principal solution. So while solving the principal solution, we strictly follow the condition angle must be equals to 0 or greater than 0 and strictly less than 360. So we have to remember for each function this principal branch value. So for cos inverse, angle must be belonging to closed interval 0 pi. For tan inverse x, domain must be set of real number and range is here closed interval. Don't confuse with close and open interval. In sin inverse x, interval is closed interval and for tan inverse x, interval is open interval. So the angle must belongs to this open interval -pi by 2 to +pi by 2. Now for cot inverse x, domain is R and range must be open interval 0 pi. Now for sec inverse x, domain is R minus, that means removing this interval. So R minus -1, 1 and range is closed interval 0 pi minus pi by 2. That means excluding the angle pi by 2. And for cosec inverse x, domain must be R minus open interval -1, 1 and range is closed interval minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 minus 0. That means excluding 0. So for solving the problems, we have to note down these points. First, sin inverse x should not be confused with sin x raised to the power -1. I read this as sin x raised to the power -1. That means this different from this sin inverse x, because this sin x raised to the power -1 can be written as sin x raised to the power -1 equals to 1 upon sin x. because when we write in reciprocal form, then its power converted minus to plus, plus to minus, and 1 upon sin x, which we write as cosec x. Therefore, sin inverse x is not same as sin x raised to the power minus 1. Same is for other inverse trigonometric function. So this is for cos inverse x, sec inverse x, tan inverse x. Now second, if x is equal to sin y, then y is equal to sin inverse x is not always true. Then when this is true, that we see in previous table, in a range we write the principal branch value, that is for which angle that condition is satisfied. We mentioned there, that is for the closed interval minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So we write here, this is true only when y satisfies the condition minus pi by 2 less or equals to y less or equals to plus pi by 2. That means this y belongs to closed interval minus 90 to plus 90. Same as for other trigonometric functions where y satisfy their respective values. In previous table, we see for cos inverse x, range is closed interval 0 pi. So for different inverse trigonometric function, this condition is different, that is depend on the range. If in any explanation or in any problem the branch of inverse trigonometric function is not mentioned, then it is to be considered as principal value branch of that function. Means if in problem its principal branch value is not given, then we have to consider according to that inverse function. The value of inverse trigonometric function lies which in the range of principal value branch is called the principal value of that function. Means if we consider sin inverse x function, then this is closed interval minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 is its principal branch value. Now next topic is properties of inverse trigonometric function. Now due to syllabus reduce, we are not taking its proof, so we have to remember these properties as it is. So the first property is sin inverse x is equal to cosec inverse of 1 by x, and cosec inverse of x is equal to sin inverse of 1 by x, where x belongs to closed interval minus 1 1, or x lies between minus 1 1 and equals to minus 1 and 1. X not equals to 0 because upon 0, so 1 upon 0, that is not defined, so you must have note that x not equals to 0 for this property. Now similarly, second, cos inverse x, we write we write sec inverse 1 upon x and sec inverse x as cos inverse of 1 by x. That means while solving the problems, we can write sin inverse x in terms of cosec inverse x, but we have to take a reciprocal of its angle. Tan inverse x can be written as cot inverse of 1 by x, and cot inverse of x can be written as tan inverse of 1 by x. Now the second property. Property second, we know that sine of minus theta is minus sin theta. In same way, we have to remember this. You have to observe for sine inverse, tan inverse and sec inverse, we get the minus sign. So for sin inverse of minus x, we write minus sin inverse x. Tan inverse x of minus x, we write minus tan inverse x. And cosec inverse of minus x, we write minus cosec inverse of x. Same property third. Now for cos inverse of minus x, we write pi minus. So we have to remember this. Then sec inverse of minus x, we write pi minus sec inverse x, and cot inverse of minus x, we write pi minus cot inverse x. That means in second property, Sine, tan and cosec we write minus sign, and for remaining are cos, sec and cot we write pi minus. Now property number 4. We know the identity sin inverse x plus cos inverse x equals to 1. These are the properties for sin inverse. So sin inverse x plus cos inverse x is pi by 2. Sec inverse x plus cosec inverse x equals to pi by 2. Tan inverse x plus cot inverse x equals to pi by 2. Now you can remember this by making the opposite pairs that we already discussed in part 1 and 2. So you have to make pair of sin with cos, tan with cot, sec with cosec. So if you observe the pairs sin cos, sec cosec, tan cot. So here we are taking the opposite. Here we are taking the opposite, and here also we are taking the opposite. So it is easy while writing the sin inverse x, cos inverse x, its value is pi by 2. So we remember the opposite property, that is sin cos are opposite, sec cosec are opposite, tan cots are opposite. Now property 5th. Tan inverse x plus tan inverse y equals to tan inverse of x plus y upon 1 minus xy. We know the formula for tan alpha plus beta. Tan alpha plus beta can be written as tan alpha plus tan beta upon 1 minus tan alpha into tan beta. From that you can write the proof for this property. Similarly, now here are two conditions. 1 minus xy. This xy is greater than 1 or this xy is less than 1. Now when this xy is less than 1, so this 1 minus, we get the value as, here we write tan inverse x plus tan inverse y equals to tan inverse x plus y upon 1 minus xy. Now when this xy is greater than 1, here is additional angle, that is pi. So tan inverse x plus tan inverse y equals to pi plus tan inverse x plus y upon 1 minus xy, when this xy is greater than 1. When xy is less than 1, pi is absent. When xy greater than 1, here pi is present. Now tan inverse of x minus tan inverse of y equals to tan inverse of x minus y upon 1 plus xy. This can be derived from the formula tan alpha minus beta. Tan alpha minus beta is tan alpha minus tan beta upon 1 plus tan alpha into tan beta. So this is property 5th. Now property 6. These properties can be derived from the double angle formulas in terms of tan. We know that sin 2 theta equals to 2 tan theta upon 1 plus tan square theta. Cos 2 theta is equals to 1 minus tan square theta upon 1 plus tan square theta, and tan 2 theta equals to 2 tan theta upon 1 minus tan square theta. So from that you can derive this, or you can remember. Now this is for 2 tan inverse x in terms of sin inverse. So in bracket 2x upon 1 plus x square. 2 tan inverse x in terms of cos inverse, in bracket 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square. This 2 tan inverse x in terms of tan inverse, so in bracket tan inverse of 2x 1 minus x square. This is proper. So while solving the problems of exercise 3.2, we see how to remember the principal branch value. Now we have to first write sin inverse, cos inverse, tan inverse, cot inverse, sec inverse, cosec inverse in this way. And for sin inverse, principal branch value is close interval minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. For cos inverse, close interval 0 pi. So for tan inverse, we have to write open intervals. For tan and cot, write in same way. For sin inverse, close interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2. So for tan inverse, write minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, but in open interval. Similarly for cot inverse, write 0 pi. in open interval. Now we know that cos inverse pair with sec inverse, sin inverse pair with cosec inverse. So you have to write for sin inverse close interval minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Sec inverse pair with cos inverse, so we have to write close interval 0 pi. We know that sec 90 is not defined, so excluding pi by 2, and we know that cosec 0 is not defined, so excluding 0 we can write principal branch value for sec inverse and cosec inverse. So while solving the problems on inverse trigonometric function, calculating the value, we must know the principal branch values for sin inverse, cosec inverse, tan inverse, cot inverse, sec inverse, cosec inverse separately. So in next lecture we will see problems from 3.3, exercise 3.3.